Hello. What you're about to see is a demonstration of the application development environment that I've created for building STerm apps for the Cino line of barcode scanners. The environment exists as a set of custom components for the Delphi programming environment. What you're looking at right now is the Delphi IDE for Delphi version XE5, which is the current version. We're just going to get started here by creating a very simple standard VCL forms application. Now in Delphi speak, that basically just means a Windows application. So up we go with our brand new empty form. I am going to modify one property here, just the position property, because I'm actually doing this on a secondary screen and otherwise it will just disappear. So we're going to set it to designed and then it'll stay put where it is. To actually make an application work, we only need two components. The dispatcher. The dispatcher is responsible for handling all of the socket communications between your application and the scanner, the Cino scanner itself. And then secondly is the application object or component. The application component represents an entire STerm application with multiple forms and all kinds of link code associated for dealing with user input and whatnot. And then the real magic happens in the form editor. But first we're just going to link these two together. We'll set our app component to be the default app of the dispatcher so it knows where to begin. And by double clicking on the app component, we'll bring up the app form editor, and away we go. So we're just going to add a very simple form. We'll give it a name, call it main, and a title. And add a couple of objects to this form so that we have something to actually display on the scanner. So first we'll add a title object. We'll add a carriage return. Let's put a text object on here. We will edit that text. There we go. Click over here. Now as you can see, it automatically does word wrapping, manages all that for you. It's also capable of centering that text just to make it look a little bit better. We'll add another carriage return, and then we're just going to add a simple menu. If we double click on the menu item, we get the menu items editor, and we can add a couple more items, and there we go. Already we've created a functional STerm application without writing a lick of code that will function on the scanner. And just to demonstrate that, we'll go ahead and run the application and switch over to our camera view here and bring the scanner in, and you can see that the scanner has detected that it's capable of that there's something listening on the STerm port. If we run it, oops, sorry. And there's the application we just built, or the form we just built. And as you can see, I can use the joystick to navigate the menu items. So without writing any code, we've got a functional, selectable menu system on the STerm protocol on the Cino scanner itself. Now, it doesn't actually do anything, but let me show you how quickly and easily we can actually add some functionality to this so that we can begin to build our application. So we'll just shut down this app. And by selecting our menu item and then right-clicking, we can actually add some code to the menu selection event. This event gets fired anytime a menu item is selected in your application, and it's passed to it a couple of parameters that allow us to interact with the scanner itself. So first and foremost is the scanner object. The scanner object represents the specific scanner that this event is being fired from, or along with the application it's being fired in. So we pull the scanner, and from there we can call a very simple function built into the system called showMessage. What this will do is create a blank form on the scanner, display your message, and give the user the ability to respond by saying okay that they've seen it. So we'll just add some simple text. Selected, and then we'll use another parameter that's passed to this event, which is the item parameter, and it contains the object that represents the actual menu item that was selected. So, and we'll just display its text property. And we'll run this again. Switch back to our scanner. And you'll see there it's detected it. Run. And now, when we select an item and actually push the selection button, it will switch over and show us that we've selected item 0. And if I switch down to item 2, there's item 2, and so on. Again, not incredibly useful, but you get the idea. Now, just to take you through a few other possibilities of what can be done with this environment very quickly. From a visual standpoint, we can modify some of the visual properties of elements that we've added to this form. Every object that contains text can actually have the text properties modified. We can change the font to something a little bit smaller if we actually wanted to get more text on there. We can change the font's color. I'll just go up here and make this one maroon. Well, that doesn't stand out very well. Why don't we go with a brighter red? There we go. Now it looks important. That font's actually a little bit small. Why don't we change to the 9 by 24? There we go. Same with our menu. The menu can actually use different fonts as well if we really want it to. But we'll stick with the big one. I'm going to show you another option that I've added to the menu object. I had the need to be able to identify menu items as having been selected or unselected, or checked and unchecked. So by turning on the show checkmarks property, our menu now has the ability to display a status next to it, and that can mean whatever it is that you need your application for it to mean. But just to show you now how that property can actually be worked with or interacted with, why don't we can add text in the STerm protocol to appear just above the left and right input buttons. So I will put check item and uncheck. And then we'll just quickly link up some code to that. Again, right-click on the item, and we can select on the key press event. Now, the key press event gets fired anytime any of the buttons on the Cino device or the barcode scanner are actually pressed, and then we can choose what to do when that occurs. So the key parameter tells us what key was pressed. And Delphi gives us all the possible values of that. We're only interested in the left and right keys in this particular instance. So again, we need to interact with this scanner object. From there, we're going to locate the form. The form has a menu, and our menu has a current item, which represents the item that was selected at the time the key, or is currently selected at the time the key was pressed. From there, we can set the item's properties. In this case, we're going to set its checked property, and we will set that to be equal to checked. And we'll just quickly copy this and paste it down here, only we will modify this one to be, unchecked. And we run the application again. Switch over to our camera so we can see the scanner. It's already detected that it's available. Launch. There you can see the font change has taken place. The menu items are there and visible. And you can see that the check marks, or the X's in this case, unchecked marks, are visible. And by using our input buttons, I can change the check state and status of any of the items. Now that in a nutshell is the basics of creating an app with this environment. There are a number of things that can be done. Multiple forms can be created. It supports images, unlimited number of text items, and basically, as far as functionality, access to back-end data systems, the sky's the limit of whatever you can code in the Delphi environment using Object Pascal. That's all. Thank you for watching.